All right, welcome y'all to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality, aka Sean, and your boy Brian Clancy from Nothing New Under the Sun. What's good, Brian? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great, man. Blessing, highly favored, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing. What happened to Was it Blessing and Pressing?
Oh,
You
I'm
changed it,
blessed
man.
and impressed with the life God gave me. I'm still doing it. I didn't
Yeah,
want
don't
nobody
switch
to
it
tell me
up, man. You throw me off and shit.
man, let me rewind that. Hey, what's up? I'm blessed and impressed with the life God gave me, right?
All right, that's what I'm
So
talking about, man. Coin that shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. I love the throwback picture in the back. That's dope as hell, man.
I'm
I need
feeling
I need to find
nostalgic. And
something.
somebody sent me this picture and I was like, yo, who? I don't even remember taking this joint, but
Bro, you know what? If we could talk about that, we got the topics and stuff, but man, I do not remember taking any pictures outside of class pictures in elementary, junior high, high school, and all that stuff. Where did, like you said, where did these pictures come from? Because I don't remember nobody with a camera. Nobody had a phone back then because shit, it wasn't the phone time. So where in the hell is like that's a dope ass picture, and it's so random. I mean, because I remember every like the hair and all that stuff. I remember the time, but who, like you said, who was taking these pictures? It's a picture of me. I found it. I can't remember who sent it to me, but it's a picture of me like standing by the locker, and I'm like, where the hell this come from? And it's
was
like
that
this
one?
picture.
Was that the one with the silver tooth?
Nah. This was, I need to find that one. But now this was in like 10th, 11th grade. This was a
Oh,
picture like
okay.
I'm standing by the locker. I had on this because they had a hoop league for the churches, and I hoop for Church of the Living God. And I have on like the little, it's like a black, I'm gonna find out, send it to you, but it's like a black shirt that we all had to wear. Like we all had different colors. Like the churches had different colors, but like ours was black, and but it had the same little thing on the front of it. But it didn't say like hooping. It said something like some church that it was associated to. But all being said, I don't remember taking that picture. It's a picture that somebody got me playing, like I think I'm playing Miss Pac-Man or something like that. I was like, what? Like, who's taking these pictures? But like I said, I didn't have no camera. Hell, I didn't start taking pictures honestly until maybe after college. And like I said, it made it more accessible with having a phone by you where you could take photos like pretty easily. But I never had not that I not that poor in camera, like
But
means
see,
something. But I never had a camera. Like I never had like I never thought to have a camera.
man, we had like when we did have a camera, it was one of them little disposable ones, and
But that was way later though. Like I'm talking about like high school and stuff. Like I don't even
yeah,
remember.
this
Were
was I'm
disposable
talking about
cameras
the
around then?
disposable ones, the little Kodak ones that seemed like they cost $13 back at the time,
Were
and you
they
got
around back then? I'm talking about like you got to think, man. We old nigga. Like
yeah,
we had we had the ones that you take and then that shit shoot out.
the Polaroid,
Polaroid. We
yeah,
like I don't remember the disposable ones in high school. And if they were, I didn't have one, or I didn't have the wherewithal to take them to Walgreens and get them developed.
man.
So it's just like I mean, I found it's funny. I was going through some stuff downstairs, and it's like when I moved into the house, one thing I was trying to be cautious of is, and like I've been in the house 5 years. One thing I try to be cautious of is still having stuff in boxes. Because when I moved in, I'm like, well, it ain't like I've always stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment. One room was used for storage. One room was used for, my bedroom.
Yeah.
But I found like some disposable cameras, like I said, still not developed. Like I need to literally, I don't even, can you still develop
But see, man,
photos?
Sharp, I had one when we went to Michigan Tech. When we, because remember I got
Okay.
picked up. Were you with me when I went to Michigan State too?
I didn't go to Michigan State, but I went to Michigan Tech.
Okay,
Because
so
you
yeah,
remember because it was something like it was,
they picked
I
me up from Michigan State. They picked me up from Michigan State on the bus to go up to Michigan Tech. I
yeah.
had a disposable camera there because, so I, yeah, that's, yeah, I had a
But do you
disposable.
remember, where's the photos? Like, would you,
Man, I have a few, and like, so
Okay.
the crazy part is I found some, and that's why, like, I was like I said, I was feeling nostalgic, because like I found some. I've been cleaning out my area in Muskegon, and I was like, yo, like, it's a bunch of pictures and stuff. My mom had a bunch of pictures, and like when I was in the Navy, like I had them pictures too, and I was like, yo, like this is crazy. Somebody on Facebook sent me this. I think it was April.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, yo, when did I take this picture? But like, like I guess certain people had cameras back in the day and was getting them developed because I got like man, and then like all the senior pictures that people gave you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got them. So like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got like I was like, man, I don't even remember. Like I remember Beth, and so like since I had on my little, my 30 year, I was like, yo, man, let me.
Yeah, look, I do not remember taking like it's this one photo that I do remember. It was like a photo of me, you, and Idris, and Aunt Alice. I know we took that one at grandma's house.
Yeah.
Um, but that like outside of that, I don't remember, and I don't even was that I think that the photo said 94, but I can't remember when that photo was because I felt like it was around the time I worked at
I was
Imperial
rocking
Sports.
a leather jacket. I think that was around 11th grade, 10th grade. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because it was cool. Yeah, I was like, dang, I didn't remember taking the picture, but
Mm-hmm.
I seen it around. I got it, so I was like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. No,
yeah, back in
that's
the day.
crazy. Like I don't remember taking any like with classmates. Like I said, I always feel like I fell within the like in the middle of not being popular or not. I mean, not being or being popular and not being popular. It was kind of in the middle where it was like you're not, you know, you people know you, but it's not like people don't know you at like you was in the middle. And I say that like, and I'm prefacing that just to say that I don't remember taking photos with anybody with the exception of sports. Like I mean, I'm in all of the track pictures. I remember that stuff. I remember, being in National Honor Society taking that photo, but I don't remember taking it like, let me take this picture with Latasha. Let me take this picture. I don't even remember taking no pictures with you, like in high school.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember taking no pictures with Eddie. I don't remember taking no pictures with Mike. I don't remember taking no pictures with
I mean, part
Rafiq,
of
with
that is like
Darius.
part of that is like I was not really a picture dude, and like I like you said the tweener in between, like I was people knew me and I knew people, but it wasn't like I was in those discussions. Like I wasn't in the running for best dress. I was a hustler, so like it just like I was selling stuff at school. Uh people, but like I was in that tweener. I guess I was like if you ain't know my name, cool. If you didn't know my name, cool. Type
Yeah,
type
yeah,
type. So,
and that's okay. Like it's just like, yeah, I ain't trying to be the popular one. I ain't trying to be the gothic one either. Like I'm just trying to graduate and figure out the next step in life. Like I said, I had no problems with like we got to high school. Hell, I mean, last fight I remember having was like in the 7th grade, and it was a stupid ass fight. Um, but after that, it was just kind of like I wasn't fighting nobody. I wasn't, I mean, I was trying to make the basketball team, or I ran track. It was just like it was little things like that. Like I wasn't, like I said, I was in the middle, and that's okay. Like even grade wise, like I was in the middle. Like I wasn't a full A student, but I wasn't a full C student either. I was definitely in that B plus area. What I'm saying, trying to maintain and figure out how to make it to the next level.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you had took that year off and went to Texas.
Hmm.
Uh, so I was like, yo, he didn't see the world.
Yeah. Listen, Texas really. broke it down. I almost stayed down there senior year, and I don't know why I didn't. Like it wasn't no, it wasn't a allegiance to. It was almost like, well, my sister's graduating here. I should graduate from there as well. But honestly, man, when I saw Texas, or when I was down there, it was it was like Bayside High. It was literally I wasn't popular at all, but because I was a new student anyway. But it was, and I came in like I left in like November, and but at the same time, I was still in band. I was trying out for the sports and stuff like that.
You tried out for basketball?
Yeah,
Back in those days, we didn't have long
basketball.
distance.
It was I had a chance, but um, they were this was they breeded different down there, bro. It was like because when I got, like I said, when I got down there, they did like an open, like they had already had the team. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying out, but I was working out. I was hooping daily because Tammy was on the Army base, and these are adults. You know what I'm saying? But they have like an Army team, but we're like I'm working out with them. So consistently, I was trying to make the team. I was trying to figure that out, trying to get better, figure out my game and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like it was them niggas was like 6'5" and up, like on their team, and I'm barely 6 feet, so it was always that, like I ain't gonna limit it to my size, but at the same time, it was like I said, it was like Bayside High. It was like there go the football players, there go the basketball players, like they all kind of like it was all separated. I don't remember it being
clicked up like that. I mean, but we was clicked up in Muskegon too. Like
we was clicked up, but the thing was, we knew the people within the cliques. You know what I'm saying? So, like, say for instance, I don't know, Darius played football. You know what I'm saying? But we hung with Darius. Or I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody from the basketball team. Like, I mean, we was cool with Calvin when we hooped with. I mean, not to say we're not cool with Calvin, but like we were cool with Calvin when we hooped at Bunker. You know what I'm saying? But Calvin made the team. Stuff like that. So it wasn't like there was a separation as far as I mean, I was cool with Sean McClanahan. Like we were cool with all these people that that were in these that were on the team. So it wasn't like it was a full separation. Like, but that's just me. Like so Dre, like I didn't realize
you had classes with us, right? It wasn't like they were separated.
Yeah, like it was literally separate. Like I never saw these guys outside of the hallways. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like I was like, oh, I mean, it was literally Bayside High. Like it was like that's the basketball. Like that's I mean, like I said, the only thing I really messed with when I got down there, cause like I said, they had to open trials, but they weren't really trying to put people on the team. But was banned, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in band in Muskegon, and I went down there. It was easy. It was an easier transition because it's a talent. Now it's a practice. It's not like So if I can read music, then hey, throw them with the trombones, throw them with the baritones, or whatever. But it was definitely a huge transition. Now if I'd have stayed down there, because the band director was like, well, you should stay. We moved you into this band and we could do more things. I feel like it was more, I knew I wanted to go to school somewhere in Michigan. I just didn't know where at the time. Mm-hmm. But I felt like, for one, that would have made it easier transition for school, like university. But anyway, I did come back and I enjoyed senior year. Senior year was dope. Like I said, I started being more outgoing in senior year than I was in the earlier years. Like I said, I wasn't a quiet kid, but I wasn't as interactive as I was my senior year, as I was 11th, 10th, and 9th. And nigga, look, one thing I learned was drugs and alcohol, all of that stuff. That stuff was prevalent in like with us in school. I mean, us in high school, but we just wasn't involved in it. Like niggas was getting twisted and splits and doing all of the shit, you know. But I'm talking about like what is white people, what is black. Like white people were getting fucked up like intense. Like I remember like niggas was getting fucked. Look, I remember I remember like senior year, I'm not gonna say his name on camera, but I was in econ class with Miss Albers, and this dude was like snorting something. And I'm like, yo, I'm talking about like in class, got it in his book. Like his book is being used as the the make sure the line is I don't know, whatever, flat. And I was like, bro, like, what are you
Because the
doing?
line
Like,
is a line. It's the powder
listen,
line.
Brian, I sit right here. I'll say one name just because he wasn't doing it. I sit right here. Jonathan Walker or Joyce sits right here. And this person is sitting directly next to me. And like in their desk. And he's just literally snorting. And I'm like, bro, like, what? Like, is it time? You know, like I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, he's like, man, it's just Ritalin. And I was like, oh, because I wasn't exposed to everything, and I'm okay with that. But only time I saw drugs being done was on television. You know,
I mean, what you mean? Like you don't remember the weed on the album covers with Dad?
No, weed, yeah. Weed is weed. I don't not to say I don't consider weed a drug, but weed, but anything else like inhaling stuff or
you never seen nobody hit the who did I see hit the pipe in real life? And I was like, dang.
Now I'll say this. I ain't gonna say his name either. He a pastor's son. But like we was I mentioned the hooping and hooping for the church. Like, you know, I had no car at the time. So we were going to go hoop. Like he was picking me up to go hoop. He was like, hey, I gotta go stop over here real quick. And so we go in and they up in there cutting crack. Like, and I didn't know. I was like, it's like I didn't say what is that, but you know, I know enough of TV to be like, because he has like a razor blade and he's just like kind of chopping it.
And the piece off, yeah.
And I was like, but I'm thinking like I didn't tell this to this person, but I was like, bro, why are you bringing me to a crack house? Like that was the first and only crack house I've ever been to in my life, and it was from a pastor's son that took me there. Like it really blew my mind, but that was the first time, and I didn't even, you know, I never smoked anything like that, so I didn't know what I was walking into. It really blew my mind that he took me to a crack house. Like it was literally somebody on the porch, because he it was like he ran in there. But at the same time, I'll say this: that's what kind of normalized me to, or that's kind of how I was normalized in the sense that even though that's a pastor's son, he's around it, or even though it just made it more, I won't say normal, but because I feel like it did. I didn't think crack was a thing. You know, I'm like, I saw it on TV.
We got family that's in it. That was in it. Like I remember Lance doing his thing or whatnot. And I remember Idris doing this thing. I remember actually walking down the street and seeing the hand-to-hand stuff, right? So you never seen none of that? You never even so even seeing year over Dad's house, like, you know, that because he was standing on Isabella behind the school. You never rolled up on them and seen all them cats in there and was like, yo, what's good?
I've seen things in motion, but I never seen the actual people doing it. You know, like I never seen a pipe. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've seen weed pipes, but I want to say it's similar, but you know the whole you put it in there, But like, you know, people was from what I've I can't speak to the what was going on within the crack epidemic, but I can speak to weed. I saw weed a lot. I never seen somebody actually. Now, okay, coke, yes. My first experience seeing somebody doing coke was in college, and it was like it was a party at one of the East Lansing bars, and they're like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
we're going over here after the clubs." Like, you know, everything is at 2 in Michigan, so
Yeah.
um we uh I go to the party, or we go to the party, and it's kind of like just this empty. This, I don't want to say just white people or anything like that, but it was just this empty
Was it a
house
rush
that,
party? Because I
huh?
mean, you seen some crazy stuff at rush parties.
No,
Like,
I never been to a rush party.
oh,
I've only, like, it's weird. I could tell the experience at Michigan State, but it is weird that people think that, you know, they call it PWI, predominantly white institution, but I hung I hung with a mix, but I mainly hung with black people at Michigan State. When you do the math, you do the numbers, like I think it was maybe around 7 or 8,000, maybe a little less than that, of black people there, and majority of them I knew, especially when I started DJing it. Like, that just translated perfectly. But
so
you know, I knew
so
of
let me,
the.
let me go into that a little bit, Sean. So at Michigan State,
Wait! Before you do,
yeah.
I'm gonna let you do that, but I want to tell you about the Coke first. So,
Okay, yeah.
let me not forget about the Coke. So we, after the party, we go to this house. We in this house, and it's like all these different rooms. And, you know, I'm just kind of walking around. You know, not the stereotype, but most white people just drink beer and shit, and I'm drinking. I'm thinking like alcohol. So I'm not really drinking because ain't nobody. It's just beer in there, and I'm like, oh, whatever, whatever. I'm about ready to go. So then I go in this one room, and this chick that I know, it's the first time like I ever seen like somebody. I've only seen it on TV, but like I saw somebody black snorting coke. And I was like, and it was her and her sister, and I was like, damn,
Wait,
like y'all do
wait.
this together.
What did they do it with? Did they do it? How they do it with a dollar bill, or how they do it?
They had like a little, it might have been a straw
Straw?
or however they
Oh,
did it, but like it was her and her sister, like her younger sister, and I was like, damn, y'all do this together, type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it really blew my mind, and they was like, and the dude, it was like, I don't know, he graduated from state too, but he was the provider, and he was like, hey, you want a bump? I was like, oh, no, I'm good, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like I kind of chilled for like maybe about another 5-10 minutes. I was like, yeah, this ain't my vibe. I got
yeah.
it's time to go home. You know.
So did they
So,
do it?
but go ahead now.
Did they do it from the fifth, or did they do the lines, or like?
No, I just saw him go, like they put it on, like somebody had a picture or something, like a frame, and the frame, they had it separated or whatever, and they just literally was going like that. Like I said, I was in there no more than like 15-30 seconds. I was just kind of like, you know, sometimes you gravitate to who you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, black people going to move with black people, white people going to move to white people. You know, it just depends on your comfort level when you walk into the room. Like I said, I'm
yeah.
comfortable with everybody. So, but I knew them. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So me knowing them, I was like, oh, okay. Then I'm like, okay, they hit the. I was like, oh shit, it's
you comfortable
different.
with everybody, but home is still home.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I was gonna ask you, like, cause uh, the way the blacks at GMI, the way we start hanging together is because you see somebody, y'all start sitting like we sit at the same tables. It's a protection mechanism where it's like, yo, you good? I'm good. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And then you meet the other bros that don't necessarily might be brown on the outside, but
Mm-hmm.
didn't come from that life, right? So like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how did y'all do that at state though? Like how did y'all find each other?
You know, I say one with orientation, or like they do like a 2-day orientation. That's how I'm cool. I don't know if you, well, well, you know Chris Webber, but Jason Webber, his brother, he went to Michigan State. He played ball for Michigan State for like a couple years, and he transferred to go play with his brother at Central. But I became cool with him. Like I became cool with Mo Pete, Morris Peterson. So I know them like from orientation. But then you say, how did
Mo Pete
I?
was a year ahead of us, right?
Same year,
Same
same year,
year. Okay.
same year.
Yeah,
But he did. He,
I met him
he,
in Flint. He was at the
he
fairgrounds.
did a
Cool
red
dude.
shirt year, and when he did the red shirt year, that's how he ended up having. So he graduated within like with 5 years rather than the 4. But I met them during orientation, but then I met a lot. I'm just saying, like people that you might be familiar with, the names that may make sense. But then the the other black people or the other, like I met black people, I met white people, da da da. But then when I moved into the dorm, like welcome week and stuff like that, we had Black Caucus, um, we had this event, party at the odd, that that kind of, it wasn't necessarily a party, it was just kind of a, hey, come get this credit card for $1,000 just for a t-shirt, it's like, so.
No, no,
But
get a pen and a T-shirt.
man, dog, that was some of the worst, man, I swear to God. I still remember getting a credit card, and you remember Wallabies, like Wallabies weren't in the US yet. I literally got a credit card and ordered 3 pairs of Wallabies from London or from England, and they were all like, like this, you trying to be fresh, you trying to be the first person with it, and Wu-Tang was talking about Wallabies and stuff like that. So I ordered 3 pairs of Wallabies from Sibley's. Sibley's used to have. I don't know if Sibley's is still around. I used to fuck with Sibley's. Like Sibley's is where I used to get all my dress shoes from. But ordered 3 pairs of Wallabies. My mom made me take 2 of them back, so I kept one. But but yeah, so I'm sitting up here as a freshman walking around with Wallabies and shit, thinking I'm dope because ain't nobody else got them, and they just old ass man shoes. But anyway, yeah, that was my first credit card bad purchase that I ever done in my life. But to answer your question, Black Caucus, Black Student Union, or we call it Black Student Association. I was heavily engaged in those things. Like I was on the board of BSA, but going to, I don't. It's just when you go to the CAF, I could say is the catalyst for most of the people that I met. Like you sit down, you be like, hey, da da da, what's up with you? And then they got friends and you got friends, but then now you got classes. And then one of the things I was involved in, which made no sense, but it was this program. What's the dude that the black dude that died that went to the moon, or that was going on the spaceship, or was supposed to go to the moon in 86.
You talking about the one that died in the Challenger?
Yeah, 86, 85. He
Yeah.
had a program, Charles, no, okay, I'm getting it mixed up. But it was somehow he's associated with, but they call it Charles Drew program. And this program was like for people that had higher, it was for people that wanted to challenge themselves within science.
Mm-hmm.
And all these black people were getting in it, and I got in it, and it was the worst thing I've ever did in my life in college. So they would make, so say for instance you have pre-algebra, or not, I was past pre-algebra. Say for instance you got like calculus 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would have calculus 1, but they would make it a lot harder than the normal. Like they had calculus 1 Charles Drew, then they had regular school calculus 1. And I'll give you a prime example. So I took calculus 1 Charles Drew. I got a 1 point in it. I took calculus 1 through Michigan State. I got a 3.5. So at a point I was like, okay, man, fuck this Charles Drew shit. Y'all niggas just trying to, because dog, at the end of the day, for one, niggas don't care about your GPA, but two, I'm like, niggas don't care that you took calculus 1 Charles Drew or calculus 1 with the university. Because I'm like, damn, y'all just intentionally making this hard with all these goddamn what's the word what's the
Interviews,
math phrase?
interviews,
Huh? No.
interviews.
What's the math phrase? No, with words when it's like a lot of words. Not problem solving, but I forgot what you call it. But anyway, problem solving questions. I can't think like where you got like maybe 4 or 5 sentences and you got to really pick out like I forgot what they call it,
Oh, the
but
story problems.
yeah, story problems. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for. So it was like story problem calculus versus actual math. I'm like, yo, I need the math. I need the number. I need to figure out. And don't get me wrong, I do think that the story questions were good in a sense, the way that I think now. But
I mean, that's all we do now, right? We get
yeah,
a story, and we got a problem. So
yep,
like we got to differentiate what we pull from that story to get a solution, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kicking my ass because they were doing it like we were literally having sessions on how to solve these questions. Like it wasn't I had to go to the tutor and figure out how to um solve it because they were damn near impossible to solve. And then I take with you, but you try to play the numbers game, and it's like, well, yo, I'm over here getting my ass kicked, and niggas over here just like flourishing
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
calc 1, calc
Yeah.
2, calc 3, calc 4 within the university. I was like, I'm just gonna take it with the university. So I ended up shifting over there. Grades went up because I was on academic probation when I first started, just because of that class. Because I had a 2.1 class that I didn't care about. I had a 2.5
Well,
and
see, yeah, like I keep telling people when I went to GMI, I had 19 credits my first semester, right? And I
I
had
was getting
two
my ass
video.
kicked. I had 16. Yeah, so I was getting my ass kicked at
Yeah,
Michigan.
I had two, and like the normal thing at GMI was anywhere between 21 and 18 credits, right? That's the only way you could graduate on time. If you
Yeah, no
unless you
summer
took
school and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah, unless you took classes on the other side. So then when I came back to the regular class, I was like, man, y'all only got 12, 14 credits? What?
yeah.
Like, man, I had remedial math because I had pre-calc. I had to take pre-calc there.
Mm-hmm.
That was still 4 credits. And you pay by the credit hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then I had to, because I didn't have an internship, I had a 1 credit class that was a weighted 1 credit class. Who does that for employment? Like where they teach you how to do an interview and stuff like that. And I was like, man, my time is shook with all
Yeah,
this stuff. And I
yeah.
see I see people in college chilling. I'm like, dog, I should have went to a regular uh, but then when the bills start coming, you like, yo, is it really worth it? I'm 10 G's in the hole, like
Mhm.
50 G's in the hole. Will I make that back? I'm out.
And look, and that's the myth. I mean, I think college. I'll say the majority of the people, the network that I'm still in is still college associated, so I respect that. But like I said, I mean, I'm still fighting to, you know, pay what I owe. Like, and granted, some opportunities present them. Well, that's how they exclude you from being able to be considered for a job. They'll say, well, you have to have this college degree or you got to have this, da da da. Da. And that's where, it's almost like I don't say rite of passage, but it just sucks that you can have all of the knowledge, but just because they say this is required, like college doesn't, I think college more or less for me socialized me. It made it easier for me to walk in rooms and be comfortable with whoever I'm talking to versus, I mean, the education is there, but I mean, for the
So,
classes,
well,
I mean, I'm
college,
like, why am I taking this history class? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. Like, why am I taking, like, if it's classes that really, like the electrical engineering courses, that's me actually learning stuff, or the computer
Mhm.
science courses, that's me actually learning things. But them first 2 years, y'all just wasting our money.
Well, see, I look at it a little bit different. Like the well-roundedness, I understand. Like humanities and stuff like that, I understand because like sometimes you got to learn how people think to work with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at it in that nature. But the other side of it, the other side of saying, okay, what did college help me do? It taught me to be disciplined enough to teach myself, right? Because you go to these lectures, they don't tell you, they just talking and then that stuff won't even be on the test. And you
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, I need to go and figure out what works for me and what I can ascertain. So like that's what I got from college. Uh,
Look,
from
look at it like this. I remember walking into class. It was organic chemistry too. I was in there with my boy Mike, and I'm sitting in there, and one of the Charles Drew, I can't remember her name. One of the Charles Drew,
participants.
one of them, dude. I was in that class. I sat there for 10 minutes, and I was like, bro, I'm about to go drop this. He was like, no, you ain't. Whatever. Da da da. I was like, nah. I was like, I'm not feeling this. Nigga, I went, walked out of the like within 10, 15 minutes. I sat there for 10 minutes. I was like, I mean, because I take recommendations and referrals like very, I take them into account into things that I'm doing, but at the
Mm,
same time, this didn't have anything to do. Like this was an elective that quote unquote could have looked good on my resume or on my
transcript. Yeah,
transcript,
yeah.
but I'm like, bro, like I got the 2.5 in organic chemistry one, and I was good. Like it was weird. Like I remember it's I remember that I remember my grades specifically. I remember my first test I got a 45, and the average was like 55, and I fucked up the I person like I and a few others fucked up the curve for the second test because on the second test I got an 80, and it was one of the highest grades in the class, like literally like top five, like the top five highest grades in the class. And but then I got another 45, and that's how I ended up pulling out the 2.5. Which I was look, that was one of the classes I earned that grade. I was like, that 2.5 was that shit was earned. But all that being said, I'm sitting in that organic chemistry too, and I'm like, nah. I was like, I'm about to go drop this. Picked up another class, and nigga, that was my favorite semester at Michigan State because I took I had because I had 19 credits. I dropped the organic class and I dropped down to 15 credits. But even at 15 credits, that was the best GPA I've ever gotten out of school. And I had my classes scheduled Monday through Wednesday. I had no classes on Thursday, no classes on Friday. My schedule was but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was hell though. Like it was tight as hell. But I had such a like it was like Thursday and Friday. I'm ready to go for the weekend. Like it
Yeah,
was it
no,
was so dope. Yep. So
all right. Well, Sean, man, let's get into it too. Right? We
yeah,
get
no, look, we got great chemistry, and I love it. It's never waned. So we could talk about this stuff all day and shit,
right.
but now let's jump into the let's go into the topics. One of them is your success is my failure. So when I say that or when I think that, I feel like people think that if somebody else is doing great, then that works against them, or it's not necessarily a hate thing. Well, it's a hate thing, but I feel like sometimes people don't want like you could say with the union, right? It was like people that didn't want the reunion to happen or didn't want it to provide support within that just because of whatever reasons. And it's like, well, no, it's easier coming to you or coming to any of us and saying, oh no, let's work together rather than working against. Because the and I don't want to go into all the details because we talked about it, but it's like you don't want to be a part of the event at all just because it's, I don't want to say, I can't speak for the person, but it's saying it's not going your way and da da da. So you're not going to contribute to the success of the event happening. And I say that in life, that like say for instance, you're applying for this job and I'm applying for this job. I look at it now as in, I hope you get it or I hope I get it. We're not, I'm not I'm not going to sabotage your resume or try to hurt you in some type of way for a position that you're going for, just because I want you to win just as much as I win. Or, if I'm not winning now, I still want somebody to win, because we come from a we come from a environment that, not to say that they don't want you to win, but it feels like it at times. It feels like, if they're in a certain space, then they they want you to stay in that space, and they want you to stay with how they remember you and not let you move on. But what's your opinions on that?
Well, let's talk about it because you hit two parts on there, right? The first part is that like people seem to like we from the hood, and I'm gonna just put it like that. We from the hood, and it seems like we are always basically fighting for resources, right?
Mhm.
And when they talk about crabs in a barrel, I can understand that because they would give some people they give. I mean, we can go back to the house nigga and the slave and the and the
Yeah, Phil nigga.
and the field nigga, right? The field nigga could just see enough of the success of the house nigga and how he was living for him to think that the house nigga was doing better than him, right? And the
Hmm.
house nigga was doing better than him by saying, "Hey, I don't have it as bad because I don't have to be outside and I ain't in there, right?"
Hmm.
But when they put you in that pressure cooker, and I tell people this all the time, in the hood, we put in the pressure cooker where they say, "Hey, we don't have enough resources. We like it can only we like think about the basketball team, right? We could
Hmm.
have had two basketball teams, right? We could have had two, but they said we can't support two basketball teams, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and you wonder why we can't support it.
Hmm.
It's it's just arbitrary way. It's an arbitrary thing of saying, "Hey, only a few gonna make it," and then when those few make it, they throw it back at you like, "Hey, they made Michael Jordan made it. Why can't you?" You know what I'm saying? So in the pressure cooker,
And I
and
got
I
something to
thought,
say about that Michael Jordan thing, but keep going.
yeah, in the
Because
pressure
it's
cooker,
all a facade, just FYI. But
yeah,
I'm
right,
a,
right,
I'm a,
and it's all an illusion of what resources you have and what resources that they can take because certain people do hoard resources because they feel like, hey, I can gatekeep, I can
Mhm.
gatekeep, and I can have some type of control. When people envy what they can't, people envy what 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 they I can't say that. I don't want to say that. But what I see is that people was like, hey, I want some type of control, right? And if they can't control their life, they want to control somebody else's life. If you
Yeah.
ever worked for somebody who who was a terrible who life was in shambles, but swear he was the best supervisor, you'd be like, yo, like, yeah, it's more of us doing this than it's more of us working hard than you being a good supervisor, right?
Hmm.
But they'll take credit, um, and I think that that whole I got this now you get it. I look at Clarence Thomas, and like he got affirmative action helped him. But since he got it, he's like, yo, like, y'all don't need it. I got it. We good. You know what I'm saying? And close the door and limit the resources of other people. But then when I get to college and I'm like, yo, I'm not here because of affirmative action. Like they like, whatever, you took my friend's spot or whatever.
And that's
And
bullshit. It's just the idea of fearing what you don't understand. It's like, well, you know, you're giving other people like say for instance, affirmative action as an example of DEI and stuff like that. Like you're literally giving other individuals, ethnic groups opportunities to be a part of the mix. And it's not
Just a look. You giving them a look. You didn't give me any special treatment. You just said, "Hey, we will definitely look at this. These people
yeah,
of this."
like
Right?
it's not given to you. And then at the bottom line is like the numbers are so drastically separated that I mean we're in a you work for any company, most likely you are one of 15 or 20 black people, like if it's a large company, like that you can actually see physically out of 100 or 200 or 5, like whatever the math is on it. And it's like, and it's kind of how it went with Michigan State. Like I said, I had a strong, like the black people that I was around, or the people that I was around, like I was around white people as well, um but the people that I was around made it easier for me to transition. And like I was like, okay, I'm a graduate. Like I don't care if it takes me 5 or 6, I'm gonna go graduate. And it was just the resilience of other people, because we had situations. I remember, because I think it was a retention rate. I think the retention rate at Michigan State at that time was like 3%, which meant that all of the, like 3 out of 100 black people were graduating, which is like 100 comes to Michigan State, and
And
only
only
three of them,
3 graduate.
or 3 of them are graduating, which is crazy to me. And the one thing that really blew my mind, like even graduating within computer science, I remember it was, they said it was 125 people in my class that came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember each black person that graduated with me. It was 2 people. Um, one of them was my boy Ray. One of them is this chick Julia from Detroit. Literally the only people I remember graduating with me within the computer science degree. And yeah, so I like these programs, they're not meant to, discourage or to take away from anything else. They're meant to try to include more people that are, I want to say worthy, but they have the criteria to meet it, but they're just for some reason being pushed out of it. So
Yeah. So like, and like again, it's a pressure cooker. It's a inflated pressure cooker when it doesn't have to be. It could be like, hey, like did these students have the same access to the same resources as everybody else? Like you said, I could have got a scholarship based on my academic from high school that would have paid for college, and it would have been a lot less pressure on you to, uh, like you could have been more focused on your grades than anything at that point, right? But
right.
then,
But let me tell this story real quick. And I've mentioned this before, but and I'll let you. My bad. But it was a scholarship that I could have had. That I graduated at 3.6. It was a scholarship that I could have had that was for distinguished. It was distinguished men scholarship, something like that. 2.0. All you had to have was a 2.0, and you got 4 years of college for free. Just maintain your GPA. And I didn't find out about that until orientation, after the deadline had already hit. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'd have had that information, and that's the thing, sometimes we just don't have the information to be able to, um, if I'd have knew about that scholarship, I'd have applied for it. But like I said, we didn't live in the age of internet and stuff like that where, we could just apply for it online
but
or,
what if somebody hid that from you? Somebody was like, "Yo, I applied for it, but I ain't telling nobody else about it because my chance is gonna be better."
look, that's another topic, not telling everybody, just hiding information. Why are you hoarding the information? Like if I have it, you have it. Like I have two cats that I mentor, and then plus my nephew, I'm trying to figure him out, because he has his own path. But anyway, I'm like, yo, this is what you can do. Like I said, and you don't have to do it exactly the way that I do it, but this is what you can do to, better your money, or to figure out new opportunities and stuff like that. And, some of them take heed to it, and other ones don't. But I'm saying a lot of people get wrapped up into, well, like say when they got a job and stuff like that, they get wrapped up into, well, I don't want to mess my job up by referring you, or I don't want to like, you can literally put other people on, but you're holding the information. You're holding the information hostage to make other people. And like I said, I don't depend on anybody to do anything for me, but these young cats, like, yo, I don't know what generation they are a part of, but they're just of that generation that they know a lot. They just don't know the direction to go into, and it doesn't necessarily have to be college or anything like that, but just they don't understand, like they're lost. Like they don't have the father figure or the mentors that are trying to figure out how to make them better. They're more the not that I can't speak for everybody, but it feels like some people are more concerned about their well-being, and they should be. You should be concerned about your well-being, but at the same time trying to make sure that other people are getting support and help as well. Like I said, if I had knew about that scholarship, and like I said, I don't only person I could consider, I can think that could have provided information was Miss Brookshire, because she was my counselor. And
Mine was
but
Cross because my last name started with a C. You was M, so that's how you got Brookshire. Yeah.
yeah, and it was just like, even with her with the scholar, I mean with the application fees, because I didn't like, my mom was like, I ain't got no money for no application fees. They could give you those they can give you waivers for that. I was like, okay. Then I went to Miss Brookshire, and Miss Brookshire was like, oh yeah, we have these. I'm like, bitch, like you could have gave me this before. I'm trying to figure out how to get into college. I don't have $50 or $100 or whatever just to apply for these schools, and I may not get in.
Yeah, but
So
again, the lesson in that though, it's a lesson in that the ask for what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, because I was like, yo, it's $50 for just the application. They getting over. That's
yep, yep, yep. I can't remember who
they
said
getting
it,
over.
but it might have been you. But somebody had mentioned that Tamika Pipkins when it made some copies of the application. It wasn't for me. I know I did end up making copies of it, but all that being said, it's just crazy that that resource was there, but it wasn't given to us. It was almost like
'Cause my sister had said something about it, and then I asked Mr. Cross about it, and he told me I must have thought you knew then because like I I wouldn't. But then I waited till the last. Matter of fact, didn't you wait till the last day of the junior year to take the SAT too?
I can't remember. I took the
ACT.
ACT. Yeah, I took the ACT.
Yeah, that was the last day of school.
Mm-hmm.
Our 11th grade year, and we
Mm-hmm.
hung out that because it was festival in the park that Friday night, and we had it early Saturday morning. Man, that because I ended up taking it again at GMI because I knew I was tired and like the English part always.
I definitely took it twice.
Yeah,
I definitely took it twice. And it's little stuff like that, like the exposure now that kids have. I think kids have so much exposure that they're overwhelmed that they don't know what to do. Versus like,
you think so much information paralyzes them?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's overwhelming. I mean, and it's like, well, do I go this? Do I do this? And do I do this? And then them having so many resources can be a bit much for them. But when they have a focus, they can lock in. Because like I said, with my nephew, like he understands the grind, but he just don't understand how to apply the grind to something to get him a bigger bag. I got another nephew, man. I was talking to him, and I didn't understand it. Like he was saying how and I'm giving him game, but he can't really, not to say he can't comprehend it, but I'm telling him,
can't
I'm like, bro,
ascertain it.
yeah, look, I'm telling him, I'm like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna try to get to six figures. And I was like, why don't you get one job? And if you want to do two jobs, get two jobs that pay six figures. Why get a $55? Like, you are a coder. You have the ability to get more money. Like I'm over here turning down some six-figure opportunities, and you're over here fighting to get to six figures. You can get there. And it's just like what you see, like you only know what you see, like what's in front of you. If I'm and it feels foreign to him, and like I said, I can't totally speak for him, but in my opinion, I feel like it feels foreign to him to have a six-figure job. So you got to figure out how to get to six figures by working 80 hours. I ain't working no 80 hours a week to make six figures. Fuck all that. Like, nah. Like, I mean, most of the time within the roles I'm in, it'll be sometimes I might have to do deployments or something like that. And that might be a late night where I'm working an extra 4 or 5 hours, or I'm working an extra hour after work just to make sure that this is tight and stuff like that. So I may at most spend more like 10 or 15 hours over the clock, but I'm getting paid for what makes sense. Like I never be like, and honestly too, within contract work, I could clock that, so it doesn't hurt me at all because I'm clocking those extra hours that I'm doing this stuff, and I was like, well, that's y'all chose to be a contract. Like I'm not salaried, but out of being said, he couldn't really comprehend the idea of making six figures within one. I mean, he ended up getting a role recently, but it ain't the money. Like the money's like he's still thinking, how could I get to six figures without hearing what I said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I
like,
mean, I fight with them. I fight with that generation, my kids' generation a lot with that because I'm like, yo, you got to put it together. You have the skill set, now put it together. The work meets the work meets the road. Like you get a car, you put it on the road so you can go. But if you get a car and you don't put the battery in it, you can't go on the road. So then you can't just be stuck. And
yep.
sometimes I feel like that. But to get back to your question though, right? Your success is my failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
You you can look at it in business. Collaboration is what makes Microsoft investing in Apple. uh, Back when Apple was going broke in the late '90s, right? I mean, well,
Mm-hmm.
early '90s, like early mid '90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, why would you invest in your enemy? Because sometimes you need somebody to push you forward too, right? So sometimes you need somebody, and then other times you can make money on both sides, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like one of the reason why I'm saying that is because when you do that, you're blocking your blessings when you think somebody's success is somebody's failure because they could be your entry into that next realm. Uh, a la Shantae said, "Hey, we both going for the same job. You get it. Hey, Sean, they got Shantae hit me, Brian. They got the job over in Vancouver, and they paying the same amount. I'll set you up with the hiring manager. This is what he gonna hit you. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Fly. You know what I'm saying? Like."
Yep.
Because we can both win. And like I keep quoting this because like one of the reasons why I mentor people and one of the reasons why I want people to understand why it's important for me to see other people succeed is because me just succeeding is a one-off.
Yep.
When I bring my whole crew or when like that's bending reality, right? That's changing the reality that hey, like uh my people can't think and my people don't ain't never gonna find their way into this money, right? We
Mm-hmm.
change we breaking generational curses. You know what I'm saying?
Now look, it's almost like the LeBron method, and I want to say that he's. I mean, I remember Jay-Z talking about it and all that stuff, but it's the literally put these peoples in positions that, and it wasn't like he just put them, like he made sure that they went to school or they did da 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 whatever what was needed. I think Maverick had to intern at Nike and stuff like it was all of these things that he put them in positions to learn what they needed to do, and then he hired his team. You know what I'm saying? And nobody has done it like he's done it.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
Rich
yeah.
Paul worked for his agent so he
Mm-hmm.
can learn
Now,
the
but look
trade.
at it like this: like LeBron is making money off of players while he's actively playing. You know what I'm saying? Just from a business venture, within Clutch Sports and things like that. Like he's changing the mentality. Like I saw, it's weird. I saw Kevin Durant. He has a LinkedIn page, about his entertainment and all that stuff. And I was like, I honestly don't feel like that would be a thing if it wasn't for LeBron. Like I feel like LeBron really showed people how, or showed them the business, not necessarily the business model, but there's different ways to get it, and you got to go out there and get it outside of basketball and think a lot bigger. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan could be the catalyst for that, just because Jordan name still reigns supreme because of his marketing tactics, or Nike, or Gatorade, or Wheaties, etc. Like Jordan hasn't played or dribbled a basketball in over 20 years. And think about it like this: from Jordan's perspective, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, like nobody mentioned these. No, it's still, and like I said, it's marketing, but it's still Jordan is number one, and that's fine. I think Jordan is like my favorite player ever, but it's like we forgot about all of the other ones, but Jordan's marketing within the game has made him still that visible, with still selling shoes, still doing his thing, 20 plus years later. Like Jordan hasn't dribbled about, and LeBron is in the league for 23 years.
Yeah.
Jordan
Yeah.
never played a
And
game.
they never played against each other, right? Either,
Yep.
right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And yeah, his name. I mean, we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whose name was in the league.
Look, Kareem could be considered the
GOAT.
greatest.
Yeah, won at every level of basketball.
But he didn't sell shoes.
And he's a big man, and he's political, right?
He only had one move. That one move was unstoppable. Like, if I could do one move in the league that could keep me in the league for 19, 20 years, and I'm still me, like Kareem was it wasn't just like he had moves, like, I mean,
he was a post-up dude. Like you couldn't guard him on the post at all.
And they'll say, you say Wilt too, it's like, well, Wilt, like they were like, oh, he was taller than everybody else. I was like, Wilt wasn't that much like, no, listen, me and you could go out and play 21 right now with a bunch of kids, and we could be taller and all that stuff than them, but that doesn't mean like we go win easily. You know what I'm saying? We still got to score. Like if it's four of them motherfuckers trying to hold you at once, that shit gonna make it harder for you to score. Like, and all defenses were focused on Wilt. But back to the topic, I don't want to, stray too much. But yeah, like your success, I want everybody to be successful. And I had a manager, only black male manager I've ever had. He actually got me into product management. And it wasn't by like, he was just as a grad student. But all the men said, I remember talking to him. He was like, listen, when you get in these positions, he's like, put 10 people above you, put 10 people on the side of you, and put 10 people below you. Like, give them opportunities. Because when you need to look at opportunities, or when you're looking for something and it's not going right in your department, or it's not going right over here, go talk to these other people that you already put in these positions to make it easier for you to transition into another role. And it's like, and now you did your service to be able to put people on, as far as giving them jobs or making sure that their experience, it's not like you just putting on Junebug or anything like that, but you're literally putting people in the position to be dope. Because it's like I've never, like, my goal at one point in time is to make $40,000. Then my goal was to make $80,000. But then my goal now is like I want $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I want that type of money. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny. I was listening to and we'll wrap up, but I was listening to and Cam, and they were talking. I just listened to this yesterday, and Cam was telling the story, and he was just like, yeah, I remember, we were trying to figure it out. We didn't have no money and stuff like that. And we had this producer, and that producer named his company Six Figures. And Mace was like, yo, man, I don't wanna mess with him. And Cam was like, why? He's like, man, he think too small, da da da. And like, this, like he was just saying, like, yo, we ain't got no money. Like 6 figures will help us out a lot. But he's like, nah, he kind of just, kind of thinking like on the small side. Like I don't really want none of his beats and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, like it's fucked up, but I get what he's saying. He's saying essentially that, when you think small, that's how you go get it. You think larger, then of course you can try to push to get to that. But even if you don't reach that, like you're still on the path to get that kind of money. So
Yeah. Let me play devil's advocate with this a little bit because I feel like there is a little play for devil's advocate. Now,
mhm.
I am one of those people that I didn't think I needed an enemy to push myself to make myself better, right?
Yeah.
Like I know Jordan created enemies on his other teams, and that made him. Now, if you feel like it adds fuel to your fire that somebody is taking away something from you, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
you push yourself to be not to
Oh,
push somebody
use it.
else down, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But you feel yourself because like dog, I'm in this mode right now. I'm like, F everybody. Y'all,
yeah,
y'all, y'all trying to little bro me?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what little bro means because I'm gonna come out and I'm going for the triple. I'm going for a 7-digit, probably an 8-digit IPO. You know what I'm saying? Like, look,
I
don't do
use it
that.
for fuel. No, no, that's the difference. So you're using the fuel of the people that's against you, but you don't necessarily have to use that fuel for people that's not against you, if that makes sense. So it's like yeah, fuck all y'all motherfuckers not hiring me. I get my own shit, and then that's gonna drive me. But don't fuck the YNs, you know what I'm saying? Because they still try to figure it out, and they're not your competition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I feel like sometimes people feel like everybody's their competition, and that's not true. Like you got people that it's better to build a super team and put it together than to like. I mean, of course, I feel like I do a lot, fighting for myself in a sense, but at the same time, it'd be easier. Like I was talking to one of the cats that I was mentoring. He was like yeah, my cousin works here. I was like, and they had like all these PM roles and stuff like that. I was like, man, nigga, why? Like you go introduce him to me. He's like, well, I introduced somebody else to him, and they wasn't like ready for it. I was like, bro, like that's my career. So then he ended up like doing a LinkedIn thing, like a LinkedIn chat. We talked through that. He told me some roles. He referred me to some roles and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, like we talk weekly. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to mentor you. Like you have the resources and you're not. And like he's not the op or anything like that, but it's like you have these resources. You're not like it was an event that we went to, and I told him I was like, hey man, I was like, he had a guy that he was talking. He's like, yeah, man, he does that. I was like, go over there and talk to him about an opportunity. Why are you talking to me? Like, he can help you. I mean, I can help you too, but he can help you directly with what you're trying to do. And it's like when you start, people don't always see, what's in front of them.
Well,
Like
it's
yeah, I don't
harder
want
to.
to see nobody having success, and I can't ask them about their success. If they question me about asking them success, then that's when they become my op to me. Like if they don't want me to understand their success, then or they don't. I don't have to be a part of their success, but when I'm like, hey, how did you da 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 da, and you kind of like, well, I just work my ass off and da da da. Like, bro, I'm just trying to figure out what you're
Yeah.
doing. So.
Yo, this story, like, I'm opening the coffee shop in Muskegon, right?
Mhm.
So I connected with this lady that got a coffee shop. It's called the Coffee Factory. Uh, and like I was like, yo, I like your. It's kind of what do they call them people? It's kind
Eclectic.
of kind of like like hippie-ish. Like so, it's a little
Eclectic.
bohemian or whatever, but it's a nice spot, and I like it, and I modeled. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna email them, right? I'm gonna email them. I was like, yo, you got some ideas, some best practices, some like, can you give me some pointers or whatever? This chick straight up told me, she was like, yeah, I would advise you to really think about it if you want to open up a coffee shop. It's a lot of work. And Don't just think that it's like a 9 to 7 or whatever. There's a lot of work in this, and I really don't have any best practices. I'm just trying to figure this out. The fuck?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's and I was like, yeah, we could do a podcast together and tell me like your adventures and this stuff or whatever.
You
But
know
like,
what?
dog, that really rubbed me the wrong. And that's the ops that you talking about,
I was
right?
about to say, I was like, she's the ops now.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I'm going to destroy everything that I see within your coffee shop. Mine is gonna be so much better. Fuck what you talking about. Everybody knows shit is hard work. Nobody expect everything comes from hard work. Like that. Don't like tell me the successes. Tell me the failures. Tell me um how did you improve?
Where
How
did
did
you outsource your coffee? Like what machines not to buy? Like
yeah.
you like it's so many things that she could have said that I could have been like, okay, that's like at least she gave me that. But when you again this energy where I'll be like, it's that I call it my Tupac energy. It's me against the world. Fuck it, we
Yeah.
going for it, right? So like
Up, scream, fuck the world.
and and I'm gonna tie that into back what we were talking about because I think that our parents' generation didn't do a good enough job of transferring that knowledge, transferring that base. Like Eddie mom, Miss Lois Williams, she
Mhm,
did an incredible job with me by just saying, "Hey Brian, I see what you're doing. Look, you need to be in this space, and that space, right? And then
mhm,
if you come here, then maybe you can see how they're working it, right?" And
mhm,
we had conversations like that. But you got Billy Bruce, which is Junior's mom, right?
mhm.
Uh, I ran for I wasn't running against her for school board, but I ran for school board because I felt like I could add more to value. I had a kid in school and I seen the stuff that I was going through with the school.
Mhm.
And this chick was more happy that she beat me than saying, "Hey, look, like if you would like instead of saying, "Hey, look,
Pass
Brian, I see
the
you
time.
running," you know
Pass
what
the
I'm saying?
time.
Like I see you running. Why not bring me in there? Especially when I know you on a face-to-face basis, right? I don't
Mhm.
want your seat. It was more than one seat up for grab, but like you, this old school protectionism. Sean, Sean.
Right?
Oh, can you
Can you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, you said you went out for a little bit. You said this old school.
Protectionism. You know, like that old generation, the church ladies generation, where they want the young women in there learning how to like or teaching just teaching the basic stuff. I think that generation above us kind of the baby boomers kind of was like,
No, they withhold information, and I think we should do that for next pod too. Is talk about that. Is like, um, don't gatekeep information that can make us, be better. Because like I said, we 48, 49 years old and stuff like that, and it's like y'all still holding on to things that you know could make us that we could be great. And like I said, if we'd had this information at 20 years old, 30 years old, etc., um, we could have been even better. You know what I'm saying? It's almost
man, they're
like
still holding on to information right now. Like they're still holding offices right now. They still got these and like you know you've done these jobs before where it's like, oh, I could tell you everything, but there's these little things that I do that I don't really think about. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so like it's the little things that you can tell us that'll give us the upkeep on saying, hey, look, in my career, I've seen this work because I've had to look at those little things that most people didn't look at, you know?
yeah. Nah, it's crazy. But in the interest of time, great talking to you. I think it's very important. I do want to continue that conversation about the information. I think that does. I think that's like a larger piece to the success and my failure. But I do feel like that gatekeeping is terrible. Like, I mean, for lack of better words, like I said, I try to, and you try to give the information that you have, and that's it. That's all you can do is give And like I said, you putting it in your kids, you got your grandkids as well. I'm trying to do it with the people that I'm mentoring, my nephews and stuff like that, just to help them understand the game. Because if they can understand the game, that the parts of the game that I understand at my age, they can get the pieces that they can either get the pieces that I'm missing, or it just gives them time to be able to gather that information on their own at a younger age, versus I'm still struggling trying to get information to figure it out. So
Right.
cool. But
Right.
thank you all for listening to Reality Not Podcast with nothing new under the sun. Brian Clancy, Shantae McMillan, DJ Reality, whatever you call us. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, give us, feedback to tell us, we should talk about this, we shouldn't talk about this, etc. Most likely, they shouldn't talk about this. I could care less. But anyway, just let us know your feedback. And Brian, you got anything to say before we check out?
Yeah, if there's any experts, because somebody asked me something and it's like, yo, what make me an expert? Look, I'm not an expert on anything. I am always an active learner. So like I'm not saying this as, hey, like like this is fact. I'm saying that like this is information that I'm learning and I'm sharing information with you. So if you have a problem with me being confident with my information, believe me, it's something that I went through that I'm confident about. I don't BS about stuff that I don't know.
You shouldn't have to explain why you're a subject matter expert. If I'm more expert than you, if I know something that you don't, as an example, like you asked me about Salesforce. Like people ask me what Salesforce is, I'll explain to them what Salesforce is, all of the different clouds, all of the things that you could be engaged in, as far as like I have a full understanding. And there's still things that I'm learning, which is fine, because I'm not meant to be the encyclopedia of Salesforce or project or product management. But from my
Especially when they refine the stuff every day, right? And
yeah,
and the new products every day, right?
yeah, it's no this is how you do it, but I can help you understand how to handle different situations. And that's what puts me in the expert category, and you as well. Like people just don't that's the crabs in the barrel, like how you an expert on this and da da da, and that shit is just terrible. Like, yeah, I mean, let me be the expert in this, and you learn from me, versus like trying to figure out why I'm not an expert.
Oh yeah, but I read your little comments and I see what's going on at sometimes like I just want people to know it's all good.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, thank you all for listening. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and talk to you soon.